Alright, welcome back. In this video we're going to be talking about multiplying integers. And I hope that this is helpful to you, for you, in being able to see what's going on when we're multiplying integers in addition to just memorizing a set of rules. So let's go ahead and get started. When we have a problem like 3 times 5, basically what we're saying is we have 5. Right, we have a 5 here, and we have not just one set of 5, but we have 3 sets of 5, or 3 groups of 5. Maybe you've heard it like that. 3 groups of 5 counters each. So when we have 3 groups of 5, we can add these all up or total these, and we get a positive 15. And of course we know that the next one, 5 groups of 3, are going to be also positive 15. And we could show that like this if we wanted to. 5 groups of 3. Okay, we already knew that because that's the commutative property of multiplication, that 3 times 5 and 5 times 3 will give us the same answer, okay? But now let's talk about what happens when we do when we have 3 groups of negative 5. 3 groups of negative 5. So I'm going to make one group of negative 5. Here's one group of negative 5. And now I'm going to make 3 groups of negative 5. Probably you can already see what's going to happen. There's 3 groups of negative 5. That gives me a total of negative 15. Okay, well, what if I have groups of 5? Here's my group of 5. Okay, and then here's my negative. If you ignore this negative for a second, if I had 3 groups of 5, I would have positive 15. If I had 3 groups of 5, I had positive 15. So 3 times 5 was 15. But if I have groups of 5 and I have negative groups of 5, that means all of this becomes the opposite. Okay, so it's like the opposite of 3 times 5, negative 3 times 5. Okay, again, we could have kind of saw that also already with the, well, in a sense, it's very similar to the commutative property of multiplication, but if I have 3 times negative 5, negative 15, I have negative groups of 5, negative 3 groups of 5. Again, it's a negative 15. Okay, those so far is pretty kind of, maybe a little bit intuitive, or that probably makes sense so far. Well, let's continue with the same principle. If I have a group of negative 5, here's my group of negative 5. And now, again, if I had 3 groups, then it would look just like this. Okay, but then if I have negative 3 groups, then all of this is going to be reversed again. Negative 3 groups of negative 5. I had a negative 5, then I had 3 groups, but I have a negative 3 groups of negative 5. A negative times a negative gives us a positive. Again, you can memorize negative times a negative gives you positive, but this is kind of why I guess that works. And I'm not going to go ahead and model the last one because hopefully you've already seen the pattern here, but negative 5 times negative 3 is also going to give you positive 15. When we go to look at or if you look at the next video on dividing integers, then I'm going to give you another way that you can kind of check and see why or how this works. But I hope this was helpful. Again, if you want to memorize, some people like to memorize if you're multiplying two integers with the same sign, it gives you a positive. So for example, if you're multiplying a positive times a positive, the answer gives you positive. If you're multiplying a negative times a negative, it's the same sign, negative and a negative, is also positive. And then if you're multiplying two integers with opposite signs, then the answer is negative. So positive times a negative is a negative, and a negative times a positive is a negative. So same sign, answer is positive, opposite sign is answer negative. But again, I hope that through going through this modeling that you don't just memorize that, but you kind of see how and why it works as well. All right, thank you for watching.